Hello, everybody. You're listening to Mark Ling, and I've got with me today a very special guest. His name's Matthew Carter. He's been involved in internet marketing for about 4.5 years now. So, um, it's quite inspiring actually, Matt's story, because he's doing extremely well online. Making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. Yet in internet speaking terms, hasn't actually been around that long, but he managed to get involved and get making great money relatively quickly, and he's been doing extremely well ever since. And he's invented his own new way of making money online, a really interesting method, and he's going to be sharing it with you on this webinar, and I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say as well. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is pass the microphone over to Matt, and he's going to take it away from here and explain his whole system to you guys.
Yeah, hi Mark, and hi everybody listening to this webinar. It's a pleasure to be have the opportunity to come on, Mark, and teach your subscribers and followers some of the tricks that I've been up to. It is pretty exciting stuff. I think you guys are going to get a lot of great value out of this. So, like Mark said earlier, before we kicked it off, take some notes and just get rid of some distractions, because I can guarantee you're going to get a whole lot of great content coming your way. You're not going to be disappointed for being on this webinar. So pay attention for the next hour, because I really want you to get this stuff, because there's this huge opportunity doing this. It's a new way of making money with websites, as I wrote on the screen. I taught myself pretty much how to do this, and I've had great results. And the title of this webinar is the 30 Clicks for $2,000 System. And you'll find out exactly why that's the title of this webinar as we go, because there's a very, very good reason that I named the webinar this title, and I'm going to explain everything. So let's get straight into the content. What I might just do real quick before those, for some of you who don't know much about me, I'll just give you a real quick synopsis. Mark told you a bit about me already, so you don't need to know much more. There's a snapshot of me. I'm just a regular guy. I'm a dad. I've got a little 2-year-old boy now, and as Mark said, I live in New Zealand now, in Christchurch, New Zealand, same city as Mark, actually. So yeah, I know Mark well. So I've made well over 7 figures doing online marketing now, which is, to me, is just staggering, because my background was just, I didn't think I was really going to get anywhere. I did sales jobs as my background, just sort of doing low-paid, very average sales jobs. There was really nothing special about me. I didn't have heaps going for me, if I'm totally honest with you, and I definitely didn't have any computer background or marketing specialties or any of that stuff. So I say that to you so you feel encouraged that if I can do it, then why can't any of you do it as well? You should really be encouraged by that. So I've tried over the years. I've been doing this about 4.5 years now, as Mark said, and I've done stuff like affiliate marketing websites, AdSense, blogs, an e-commerce store. I've had my own products that I've sold. So I've dabbled in a lot of things. It's just the journey I've taken to where I'm at. But today I'm going to tell you about a new approach that's not any of those things, which I started to play around with about 12 months ago, and I've had great success doing. As I said, I live in New Zealand. So what you're going to learn in today's webinar is this: how small amounts of traffic can mean great profits. That's a really key point here. How small amounts of traffic can mean great profits. You'll understand why as we go through. You don't need much traffic to do well with what I'm about to teach. It's a new untapped way to market with very simple websites that sell nothing. They don't actually sell anything. So you probably think that's a pretty crazy statement to make, but again, stick with me, because you'll understand completely by the end of this webinar why. So low amounts of traffic, not selling anything, and how to avoid competition with traditional methods of marketing like affiliate marketing or AdSense. They're pretty popular, and that's fine, and they're all good. It's just it can mean quite heavy competition. So why not have a go at something which can avoid a lot of where the masses are hanging out and doing their marketing? And I'll teach you that in this webinar. I'll also teach you how I'll tell you about a story, a real story, of how I sold a website that was getting just 30 visitors a day for $16,000 US. So Let me read that to you again. 30 visitors a day for $16,000. 30 visitors a day isn't many. So just keep that in mind. I sold it for 16 grand. It was a great little cash flow boost for me. I was pretty happy with that. And I'll tell you all about that story in this webinar. I'll also explain to you how to choose the right niches for maximum profit with what this system is that I'm going to be teaching you, and how to get around a lot of the problems with Google. Some of you might be completely new, and that's fine. You won't even know what I'm talking about. Some of you have been around for a while, and you'll know that Google's made some considerable updates to the way they rank web pages, and I'm going to discuss some aspects of that in this webinar, and again explain how the style of site that I'm teaching you will get around some of these problems, and then how to automate the entire process, which is always nice. So that's where we're going. Stick with me, because you're going to get some great content inside all these points. So let's get straight into it now. Have you ever been frustrated with getting traffic? I'm sure all of us at some point, myself included, can relate to the photograph on the screen of the guy screaming at his computer. I know I've been there many times in my internet marketing journey, trying to get enough traffic to my websites. The first thing I do want to say, though, is there's no magic formula when it comes to traffic. Don't be fooled by that. There is products out there that will be very deceptive, software products that promise you one-click magic formula that you install the software and click a few buttons and you'll have all this traffic coming to your website. All those sort of deceptive tricks that people pull, they don't work. There's no magic formula to getting traffic. You do have to put in the effort to get traffic to your websites, and we all need traffic. Obviously, you need traffic to a website to make money with it. You've got to get people arriving on your website and then get them to take the action you want it to take. That's all a given. But the less we need, the better, right? Surely. And if we don't, the less traffic we have to get is a good thing, because there is no way to avoid it. You've got to do the work to get the traffic. So let's get us the least amount we need to try and reduce the amount of headache that we have. So, and at the end of the day, it all comes back to traffic. You've got to get traffic to your websites. So most methods of marketing online do require a substantial amount of traffic to make decent money with. That is a true case from my experience of doing this. And like I said earlier, I've done a lot of different things online, so I'm not just saying this stuff, making this up. I'm talking from experience, because I have tried a lot of things. I've tried all those things: affiliate marketing, AdSense, e-commerce. I know what goes on. I know what's involved. So you do need a considerable amount of traffic for a lot of styles of site. Affiliate marketing, in my experience, does require the most, as you have to send people off your site or get them onto your email list to make money. So with an affiliate site, they arrive on your website, they have to click an affiliate link, they go to somebody else's website and hope that they'll buy the product that the other person is selling. Obviously, most of you understand how an affiliate works, an affiliate site works, and that's fine, and don't get me wrong, it works great, so don't be discouraged by any means if you're doing that. I'm just saying that you tend to need a lot more traffic because there's more steps involved. The action for the person that you want them to take doesn't happen on your site. It relies on you sending them to another site. So when that happens, you get drop-off. The more steps in the process, obviously, the lower the conversion. So you do need a substantial amount of traffic, I've found, for affiliate marketing in the niches that you're in. And a lot of niche markets are saturated, which I did allude to earlier. Competition makes it even harder to get your slice of the traffic that's available in a niche. That should be quite obvious. If there's a lot of people competing for the same pie, if you like, then getting your slice of that pie is obviously going to be a bit harder. So that's what can lead to a lot of frustration for people when they're trying to get this traffic to their websites, enough of it to actually make decent money, and it can end in a little bit of tough times. So it's time to think outside the box. You need to think of a way where you can avoid a lot of these headaches. And so I spent 12 months testing and refining a new approach to making money with websites, where there was less competition. That's the first thing, and required much less traffic. That's the second thing. So those are two really important points. And involved no selling and no customers, not like where you've got multiple customers always on your case, you can avoid all of that as well. And it allowed me to make money while I slept. So by that I mean I didn't have to actually be at my computer doing the work in order to get paid. Like a job, you go to a job, you got to clock in at 9 o'clock in the morning and go at 5 at night. If you're not there, you're not getting paid. So you're not making money while you sleep. So with this strategy, I can leave it and then go to bed, and then it'll still work. I don't have to be there, and that's really important. I love it when I can wake up in the morning and check my computer and go, oh, look at the money that came in last night. While I wasn't even there. That's a really cool feeling. I must say that when I first started experiencing that, in comparison to having to work at a job, I just found it so exciting. I just couldn't believe that that it was possible. So anyway, that's I started thinking outside the box to create a strategy like that, and I created what I call now my 30 clicks for $2,000 system. So I'm about to show you how I was able to make a simple, somewhat ugly little website make $2,000 a month. So that's where the title 30 clicks for $2,000. So 30 clicks, I mean 30 visitors. So 30 visitors a day to this website to get $2,000 popping out the other end was pretty exciting. And again, 30 people a day is not really a lot of traffic. Most of you if you've been doing website stuff, even for a few months, you'll realize that getting 30 visitors a day to a website is not really that hard to do. So to get that sort of turnaround, I was pretty surprised myself. So the facts was it was getting 30 people a day, and I eventually sold it for $16,000, this website. So this is the website that I sold for 16 grand. And yeah, so just keep those, remember those figures, 30 people a day, 2 grand, and then I sold it. So it was a pretty good little success story for me. I was very happy with it. So my question is do you think you can get 30 people a day to a site? Most people will answer yes to that question, even if they don't have very much experience, because, like I said, it's not that hard. So the obvious question that begs is how come so little traffic? How is this even possible? It just sounds absurd. It sounds like maybe I'm making these figures up. So let me, give you a bit more explanation. There's 3 important reasons why I'm about to show you works with so little traffic. So I want you to pay close attention to these important reasons, because otherwise it won't make sense if you don't grasp this. The first thing is you don't sell anything. You're not selling something. When you don't require the person arriving on your website to make a buying decision, i.e. get out their credit card or PayPal and actually go through the buying process and all the thought processes before they even get to getting their credit card out. When you don't have to do that, the conversions are a lot higher, because it's just the barriers are a lot lower for people when they don't have to make a buying decision. So that's a really important fact that I want you to remember straight away. We're not selling anything, they're not buying anything from us, so the action that we need them to take, you get a lot more of that action, I guess you can say, or a higher conversion, whatever way you want to put it. And the other important fact is it all happens on these websites of mine, on the website. The traffic does not have to leave the site to go to another website to do whatever it is that I want them to do, to buy something or whatever. It all happens on the website. They stay. You don't have to leave. Remember I said earlier that the less steps involved in a process, the higher the conversion. So again, the second thing that's working in our favor is they don't have to leave. So they're not buying anything, and they don't have to leave. So that's the 2 important points. And then this leads to the traffic that just converts like crazy. When you've got this combination, you get really high conversions. So there's some 3 really important points of why you can get trickles of traffic and still make money with that traffic. So that's really the essence of where we're going with this style of website. So what I want to do is just give you a bit of background, and then we'll look at some examples of this stuff and really break it down. But I need to just give you a bit of background so you'll understand why this works. So gone are the days of the yellow pages. And so what I mean by that is businesses used to spend the bulk, a large amount of their advertising budget on yellow page ads. But they just don't seem to work as well anymore. and people aren't using them as much. Obviously, I think most of you will agree with that. So a lot of businesses are shifting their focus, and it has been happening for a while, but it's obviously just a continuing trend, and they're focusing more on the online marketing. So reason one, first thing is, did you know that it costs 5 figures for a half-page ad in the yellow pages, and it often doesn't even get read, depending obviously on the location as well, but 5 figures is a lot of money. And sometimes it's even 6 figures, depending again on the location. That's for a full-page ad. So there's quite a lot of money. And so businesses are starting to realize, and they have been for a while, that you can get a better bang from your buck other ways than just relying on the yellow pages to get potential customers to their business. So if the money's not spent on the yellow pages, it's often spent elsewhere, and i.e. the obvious places, just with online marketing. So you get more bang for your buck with direct marketing online than through yellow pages. So that's a big key point. The U.S. ad spend last year in 2012 was $28 billion, which is pretty massive. This is online, and it's predicted to get to $37 billion by 2014. So it's growing steadily, and there's just a lot of money flowing into online marketing for businesses wanting to get their slice of the action. And obviously, every business out there wants customers. That's pretty obvious. I don't really need to clarify that statement, but obviously, to grow your business, you need more customers, and businesses are always looking for ways to connect with their potential customer, and that's what we're going to be talking about now. So, advertising is big business. You just look at the likes of the figures that I just mentioned, and then you look at likes of Google and all sorts of other platforms online. It's huge. It really is big business. But the thing is, it's not only big business for big players. What if there's a way for a little player like you and I to get in on the action without losing our shirts in the process? I don't want to go and set up an advertising agency or anything like that. I think that's just out of my league, and I'm not really that interested in it. But what I'm going to share with you now is a way that you don't have to do that, but you can get your little slice of this big advertising pie and the money that's pouring into this online from businesses. And I'm going to show you how you can do this now. It's called lead generation online. So lead generation is generating leads for businesses through very simple websites, rather basic websites, nothing elaborate. You don't have to, like I said, we're not setting up a huge advertising campaign or any company or anything like that, but you can still get your slice of it by creating what's called a lead generation website, like an online funnel, if you like. And somebody, actually the company that I sold that $16,000 website that I sold that site for, that was a lead generation website. It was generating leads for the company that bought it off me. They liked it so much that they turned around and said, "Look, can we just buy the whole thing off you, and then we'll just take it from here?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can take it." And I sold it to them. But the guy, the owner of that company, said to me, "You know what, Matt?" He said, "This type of site, this lead generation site that you create," he said, somebody asked me what on earth lead generation website was, and he said, "All I can say is it's the yellow pages on steroids," is what he said to me, because it was having such a great effect for him. So that's what I'm talking about here, lead generation online. So let me just break it down for you, because some of you may not quite be grasping it yet. So lead generation is what I've been testing over the last 12 months, and I've been tweaking it, and I finally perfected it. And I've had a lot of success doing it. I really have. My best site now makes over $10,000 every single month. So that's a fantastic site. I really enjoy working on that site. It's doing well. It doesn't get heaps of traffic to make that $10,000. It really doesn't. It doesn't rely on massive amounts of traffic. I think it's getting about 300 people a day to the website, that one. That's obviously a bit more, but it's still low amounts of traffic for the results that it's getting. And I've had other ones that are range lower than that. Like I said, the one I sold was only getting 30 people a day, and it was making $2,000 a month. So there's sort of varieties of them, but So it's basically where you set up a simple website and they act like an online funnel. It's getting someone who's interested in a product or a service, and you're connecting them with a business who can meet that need. So you're essentially like the middle person connecting the people together. You're looking for this, hey, these guys can supply it. Boom, my little website just connected you to. There's value in that now. That little website that did that connecting, if you like, is a valuable little asset. It's its own little marketing device. You know, it's like a little advertising platform, and there's a very basic advertising platforms, but they do a great job. Mark, you want to say something?
Yeah. Just to put it another way, is it kind of like being, say, somebody's only affiliate? Like for instance, let's say you worked with, say, you set up a website to do with I don't know, let's say lawyers in Boise, Idaho, and you could then see which law firm was interested in those leads, and then you know how much money people spend through their lawyer over time if they become a lead. So they'd probably buy those leads for quite a decent amount of money, especially if they started seeing what they turned into in terms of clients. So, but you'd essentially, they don't have an affiliate program, but it's almost like you've just set it up for them, and you're just, it's like you're an affiliate.
That's a really interesting way to put it, and I agree. It is like that. It's exactly like that. I just never really thought of it in that way, I guess. But yeah, it's like you're their only affiliate. You're sort of affiliating with them, and you're helping them, this business, like a legal firm, and we're going to talk a bit more about types of firms and how to do this in a minute. But yeah, I think that's a valid example.
And I guess you would make the most money out of the type of firm that, how do I say it, generates a lot of money per client. Like a legal firm or insurance, or I don't know, a doctor that has ongoing patients, or I'll let you get into it because I know you're going to explain it. I'm just getting ahead.
That's good.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, no, that's good, and they're all valid points. So we will talk about the type of businesses this works well for, because it is important. So we'll crack on, and I'll get to that. But if any other questions, just jump in. So let's look at some examples now. Let's say somebody types into Google a phrase like retirement planning advice. So they just want a little bit of information about what they could possibly do to plan for their retirement. So that they're essentially needing financial advice. They might need information about the topic, and they arrive on a site all about retirement finance. So there's this simple website that's providing information. It's got to be good quality information, like a mini resource, if you like, on this topic. And so they arrive on it, which is my site. Sorry, this is say this for an example purposes. I've set up this site. My site provides great information, and it also has a little form on the sidebar of all the pages of the site, encouraging them to leave their details for a professional financial advisor to call them. So they're on the website, they've typed something into Google, they've landed on this website, they're finding the information quite helpful, great, and then lo and behold, they see, hey, I could actually just speak to somebody right now for free. Just get this little free quote, somebody will give me a call and help me out a bit more with this. That's what you're doing. That's how the funnel works. And they'll hit that form because there's no reason for them. It's not no reason, but it's much easier. They don't have to pay anything. They're just filling out a quick form, and somebody will give them a call back to help them. There's no commitment, and they don't have to leave the website to do it. So remember, these are the important things that I said earlier in this presentation. They're not leaving the site. It's just there. All they got to do is fill out a form, take them about 20 seconds, click a button, and that's it. Bingo. They're done. So let's just carry on with this example. So they leave their details, their phone number, and they click submit because they do want someone to chat to someone a bit more about this. All the details of this lead are automatically sent from my website to a business owner, and that would be, in this particular example, it would be a financial advisor. So I'd have a pre-arranged agreement with the financial advisor and say, hey, you're going to get these leads coming to your inbox, and then all you got to do is give them a call and do your thing. After that, it's nothing to do with me. That I just got to get the lead over to the person. So I'll explain to you the automatically part of this later in this webinar. I'm getting to that, so I don't want to explain it now, but I'm going to get to how it automatically does it, because some of you might be thinking, how does it automatically do it? But that's okay. It does. Just believe me, there's a way, and I'll show you. It's very easy. It doesn't require any techie skill. Remember, I'm not from a techie background. No idea really about any of that stuff. So the business owner then calls them up, and they make money from the lead. It's as simple as that. They've got this fantastic lead. And now you compare that. You compare a lead where somebody has shown interest in the service or product that this company can provide, and they've left a phone number asking that business to call them. Please call me. I may well buy something off you. I know that's a pretty good lead to get. If you compare that to, say, the Yellow Pages, where you put an ad up and you hope people will see it, and then you hope they'll actually call you, it's just not the same. It's not the same. You can understand why this business that I sold the site to called it the Yellow Pages on steroids, because these are really hot leads. People who are saying, yeah, I'm interested. Here's my number, by the way. Give me a call. It's a great lead. If you set these sites up properly, and business owners realize that, and they'll soon pay you per lead. That's how it works. They pay you for every lead. Every time someone fills in that form, boom, out pops some more money for you. It's just like a little cash machine. Every time they fill out the form, more money comes to me. And I love it, because I don't have to convince them to buy anything. I just got to get them to fill in a simple form and click a button. And that's why these websites can work so incredibly well on such low amounts of traffic, because the conversions are so high. And the reason the conversions are so high is because they don't leave your website, as I mentioned, and they're not having to buy anything. No buying commitment. So you can get really high conversion rates with this sort of stuff. And I also get the full value of the lead. Unlike CPA marketing, some of you might know what CPA, cost per action marketing is, and there's been a craze over the years for CPA marketing, but really CPA marketing is it's affiliate marketing, where you're sending people from your affiliate website over to another website, and over at that other website they have to fill in a form similar to what I'm talking about here, I guess. But the problem with that is you don't really get much money for each lead, because the CPA network, who set up the page, they're getting most of the money. They're the ones that are making the money out of this, so that they're really getting the most value out of that lead. But because of what I'm doing here, we don't need the CPA network. We don't need anyone else. We take full control of this thing, and then by doing that, we get full value for the lead. So, I've got a website that was getting $30 a lead. Other people that I've been teaching this stuff to recently, one guy told me he just negotiated $50 a lead. He was pretty excited about that. And other websites I've got at $18 a lead, but it's still reasonably good money per lead. So this is the beauty of this system, and all of these factors adding up are why you can get low traffic and make decent money. Remember, at the very beginning of this presentation, I said to you that it can be frustrating getting traffic, so the less we need, the better. And obviously, I hope you can understand why that's possible with what I'm teaching you so far. So, a couple of actually, before I do that though, I might just I'll do a few conversion tips, and then I'll show you some example niches actually in a moment. I'll go and show you a website that you can go to, and there's just dozens of example niches of where this would work in, so that it'll help you get underway if you want to try and do this stuff. But a few conversion tips just to keep pushing that conversion rate really, really high is you want to make sure that the lead capture form is very visible on every page of your website, right above the fold, and try and make it as prominent as you can. I try and make it really prominent on the home page. I'm not shy of putting my form in people's faces. I don't want it to take away from the quality of the website, but you've got to make sure it's visible always. So it's just always there. You don't want people to have to look for it or click through to find it. That's just silly. So you've got to make sure it's very easy to see. Now here's another thing. Actually, I'll tell you the second point in a moment, but this one's just as good. You must make compelling headlines on your forms. You don't want to keep it boring. Fill in the form, please, or something lame like that on the headline. Put something like compare quotes online and save. Giving them a reason to fill out the form. That you got to talk with beneficial language with benefits built into it. For give them a reason why they should fill in this form. Those sort of things are going to help, and just little things like quick, fast, easy, online, no hassle. That sort of language is going to help people fill in that form a lot more. So instead of get a quote, you might have something like compare prices and save. You want to make sure you reassure the traffic that you'll not be spamming them or selling the details to multiple businesses. So I just have a little sentence, and usually I put a little icon like a picture of a lock or something to say, your details are secure with us. We're not going to sell your private details to multiple businesses. Obviously, we are going to sell it to one business, but we're not going to sell it to multiple, and that's really all they're worried about. And I got customer feedback once through a company that was getting their leads, and this guy talked to one of the customers and said, how did you find the experience of leaving your details? And the customer said, hey, look, I thought about it, and I thought, oh, should I leave my phone number? And their concern was, am I going to get bombarded with phone calls? And that was their fear. And when he said that, I'm like, oh, dude, we need to make it really obvious to them that that's not going to happen then. And then we added that element to the form with a little icon that kind of looked like a security icon, and it increased the conversions quite dramatically, because obviously people were thinking that they're going to get hassled and their phone never going to stop ringing. So you just want to make sure of that. Here's another thing that's pretty interesting. The form can't be too short or too long. Now, I always thought the shorter the form, and when I say shorter, I mean the less fields that somebody has to fill in on the little quote form, surely the higher the conversion rates. Well, it's not actually true. I tested this on a site because I thought, let's just really strip this thing back so it's just like name, email, and phone number, and the conversions dropped. And I was like, oh, interesting. So I realized something really important from that experience, that people won't take the form seriously if you're not asking them enough information. They'll think, oh, this isn't really legitimate. I am probably just going to get spammed, because if they were legitimate, surely they'd ask me some qualifying questions, like if it's financial advice, how much money have I saved, or just some other questions that show that they actually are a serious financial company, and I'm going to get a serious quote at the end of this process. So you've got to be careful not to go too short on that form, and also you obviously don't want to go too overboard, and ask them details that are not really that necessary. So there's just a balancing act, a fine line of how much you ask. So just having the right length form does increase conversions, just so you know. And you can get conversion rates of 10 to 30%. And I'm just telling you from experience. I had the website I sold, that one for 16 grand. That was getting about 30% conversion rate. So 1 in 3 people that were arriving on the website were actually filling out the quote form asking for a callback. And these are real quotes with real phone numbers, not just people filling out a bogus thing and clicking submit. They were real quality leads. 30% is reasonably high. Another website I've got is hovering around about the 10% mark. Now get this. I actually spoke with the company who bought that website off me 2 days ago, and he sent me a message saying he just changed something on the website, changed the background color of the header and put a different little graphic on the top left for his logo. And he told me, and I'm just telling you, passing on what he told me, I actually can't prove this, but he told me he'd again doubled the conversions to 60%. So I can't verify that, though, so I'm not going to put that on the slide. I'm just going to say what I do know is I've got between 10 and 30%. But, you can really do wonders with conversions with these types of websites, which, again, just plays into the fact why you don't need much traffic to get it to work. So let's just break this down, and for an example, because it's all coming to this point. 30 people a day to a website, if you convert them at 10%, which is the lower end of my conversion rate, 10%, that's about 3 leads a day, right? So if each lead is worth, say, 15 to 20 bucks, or say 15 to 30 bucks, actually, I actually should have changed that to 30. I got 20 there, but anyway, doesn't matter, either one. Let's say, so 3 leads a day, each lead you're selling for 30 bucks, there's $90 a day coming in. So let's say over 30 days, you can see where you can get to figures in the thousands of dollars doing this sort of stuff. So that's why it's possible to get 30 visitors a day or 30 clicks for $2,000. This is how I've worked out. Obviously, the title of this whole webinar is how to do that sort of stuff. So I just wanted to break it down for you so you can see I'm not just pulling out numbers out of the air and just saying, hey, 30 sounds nice. This is the figures I got from that website that I sold, except for that particular one, the conversion rates were higher and the cost per lead was about $25 US. But anyway, very similar to those sort of statistics. So that's how you break it down. The next thing I want to talk about is finding buyers for your leads. It's a common question that people ask me, so I want to address that now because it's an obvious one. I know a lot of you probably be thinking. So just remember, all businesses want new business. They want leads. They're looking for customers. So anything that can help them get that, anyone with half a brain will be open to the idea. So you just contact them. I've got a template that works. You can use that works magic, and you can ask to speak to the person in charge of marketing for the business. You just got to make sure you talk to the right person. And for a business, it might not be the person who answers the phone or the receptionist or whatever. Or when you email, the admin person who answers the email, or whatever way you choose to reach out. You just got to get to the right person. And then what you're trying to aim for is small to medium-sized businesses. We're not talking about real big juggernaut blue chip companies, because they've usually got way too much red tape, and you don't want to go there. Basically, just looking at small, medium-sized businesses that want to grow their business, and they're easy to work with. They don't have all this, difficult processes or anything like that. It's just pretty straightforward. And you tell them what you want to do. It's really quite straightforward. You just ask them if they want to trial buying leads off you for a week or two, and you can even give them, free leads. And so I've done this before, and to say, look, just have the leads for a week, and just test them for yourself. You'll see that they're great and they're going to help you, and there's no commitment. So it's a real easy process, to be honest with you. It's like, hey, I've got a whole bunch of people that want to buy your stuff. How can I give them to you? That's really the process, how simple it can be. They're like, well, I'm open to this. So you can just find businesses anywhere, look them up on Google. You might just talk to people in your daily business. In your daily lives. It can be in any sorts of ways, and then you can just crack on and just tell them what you want to do. You don't have to have a website set up either. You can just say, hey, this is what I'm about to do. This is the sort of stuff I do. And would this be something that you'd be interested in? And they might go, yeah, I'm open to that. And then go, great, I'll call you back in a month or two once I got the site up and we're cranking, and then we'll talk. It's really pretty straightforward to do it. So there's nothing really complicated about it. It's just a simple procedure. I want to give you a testimonial, actually, of somebody, a guy Dan, who has done who I've helped do this. I've taught Dan how to do this. So Dan emailed this to me. I didn't even ask Dan to send this to me, but he emailed me and said, I've already contacted a local company and they've jumped at the chance to buy targeted leads. And this is what he said. He quotes, we will take all you can get. Cha-ching. Thanks for the knowledge. And that was from Dan. And I'll just let you on a little secret. I don't think Dan will mind me sharing this. I hope he won't. But the leads that Dan's getting, he negotiated $50 a lead, and it's for a local university. For a local university to get new students to obviously go to university with them. That's what he hooked up, and $50 a lead is pretty sweet. I haven't done that before, but that was just what Dan told me. So I thought he did really well with that. So that's just a little example of somebody who's cracked on doing this stuff. So most traditional affiliate and AdSense marketers, they don't know how to do this sort of stuff. They really don't, because it's not something that's widely taught. It's just not something that people are really aware of, which is a good thing, because it means less competition. If you compare it to something like going to ClickBank and grabbing your affiliate link, which is all well and good. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying it's very easy to do that, and because it's so easy to do that, everybody wants to do that, and that's fine. But you'll just find that obviously that comes with the consequence of more competition. So what we're doing is not that. We're sidestepping that. So that's just something to keep in mind. So, and even if they did, even though they did know how to, most people are too lazy, and they prefer just to go to ClickBank and grab their affiliate link. And I'm cool with that. I'm fine. They can do that. That's good. I'm going to go off and do this where there's less people doing it, because I want it to be easier for me. So let's talk about finding great niches. I said I was going to give you some examples. So let's do a practical example now of one way that you can do this. So I'm just going to flick over my browser here, and hopefully this will bring up, a website called Quotify. You can do this yourself. The website's quotify.com.au. It's Quotifi, quotify.com.au. It's an Australian website. So what you'll notice this is a website that does actually sell leads, not the way that I do. Just so you know, this is not the way that I do it, but it's a useful website nonetheless, because of this one reason, of a little drop-down menu here of all the different niche markets that they're buying leads in. So you can see here there's probably about, I don't know, what do you think, 60 odd niches that they're doing leads in, which is quite handy. So just read some of them through. You've got aged care, architects, building contractors, carpet cleaning, counselling, debt collection, financial planning, which we talked about before. We did financial planning examples. So if I just click on that one, looking for a financial planner in Australia, get free quotes now. I don't do it the way they do it, just so you know. I don't think that would convert very well, in my opinion. But anyway, some other really cool things they've got here is information articles. See? All these articles down here on this topic. So when we're building these websites, as I mentioned earlier, we build many resources for people. So we've got to have great websites with great information. We can't just put a pile of crap out there online and think this will work. You've got to put decent websites up. They don't have to be massive, but they've got to have some good content on there. And not a lot. Some of my websites have had maybe 10, 20 articles on them. It's not massive. But anyway, they give you some good ideas of topics that you can write about right here. Now, don't copy them. You'd never do that. That would be the wrong thing to do. But you get ideas, of topics that you can write on your website, and they've sort of done a lot of the hard work for you. So it's like, oh, thanks. This is quite helpful. This will help me plan my own site out. And again, I just want to clarify that I don't do it the way they're doing it. I'm just using this thing as a research tool, if you like. So that's Quotify. You can also do just Google around for stuff. And like, if we go here, one thing is online uni. No, let's do it more accurate than that. Let's do accounting degree online, and let's do it for the United States, and GL equals US. I'm just changing that. So online, here's one I looked at, and another example I was showing people. You can get these types of websites here. accountingdegree.net. This is a lead generation website. This is generating leads for online universities. So this is the sort of stuff that you can do. All these people here, all these universities, Rasmussen, American International, or Intercontinental, Post University, Virginia, Liberty, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, all of these people are buying leads for their online university, and they'll be so open to it because they're an online education thing anyway, so they're already leaning that way. So this website is literally just helping people. It's getting leads. Now, this is a little bit more complicated, this website. What I do is a lot more simple than this. I mean, way more simple. I just wanted to show you another niche, but there's much more simplified ways to do it. But I'll just let you in on a little secret. This website, this form here, the website owner, they didn't construct this form. I tell you that right now. There's actually a company, another middleman when it comes to online degrees, that take care of all the forms. So you just sign up as an affiliate and they give you the forms and they give you everything. So this website's actually quite basic, because the website owner has just been given a little bit of code and they've copied and pasted it into their side panel, and it bings up and it will automatically give them quotes for all these universities. So they actually don't have to do any of the work. That's just one I've uncovered, and that's a little secret for you guys. If you want to just skip out the whole process of the leads yourself, on the online university space, there is a company. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head, but some of the smarties out there listening will go off and figure that out. Reverse engineer these guys, and you'll find that company. And that's one way you can do it if you want to as well. So there's a lot of other different niches that you can do it in, but when you're thinking of what niches will work best, just going back, it's better to aim for ones where the average dollar for the business that's buying a lead, the average dollar value of that customer is reasonably high, or is a repeat customer where they come back again and again and again. So you've got all sorts of things with financial planners. They'll come back again, and anywhere where it's a recurring business for them, that's a good one to aim for. Or if it's just a one-off sale, where the one-off sale's quite high, like if it's $1,000 plus. Like another example is mortgages. Mortgage brokers, the average sale for a mortgage broker in New Zealand is $2,500. That's what they get off each mortgage that they close. So $2,500 is what each mortgage is worth to them, which is, a reasonable amount of money. So they'll be willing to spend money on mortgage leads to get that sale. They might spend $40 on a good lead, on lots of leads to get the sale, because they might close 1 in 10, 1 in 20, depending how good they are. But let's say it's 1 in 10. If they can close 1 in 10 of the leads that they're getting through, if they're decent quality leads. So they've spent $40 a lead. That's $400 they've spent all up until they closed a sale. So they've still got a lot of room for profit if each one's worth $2,500 for them. Even if they close 1 in 20, they've spent $800 on leads, but they're still making a profit of $1,500 or more than that. So that's what will work better. Just to give you some more tips on what markets to aim for, because if it's really low value each lead, they're not going to spend much each customer, they're not going to spend much on the lead. It's just common sense, isn't it? You're not going to expect someone to spend $50 a lead when they're only going to make hundreds of dollars out of it. They'd have to convert so high that it's just not practical. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking of what niches work best for this type of thing. So there's a few practical examples to help get the creative juices flowing, and you're thinking of ways that you could do this. And so $16,000 sale of a website. So I told you I'd tell you. I've already really let the cat out of the bag of what that was, but I sold the site for $16,000. It was getting 30 people a day, and I sold it to the business that was buying the leads off me. That's a true story, and so that's what's possible when you do this. Mark, did you want to jump in before I continue?
Oh, it looks like you're just about to talk about traffic, so that's all right. Because I've had a bunch of people just asking me what your traffic generation methods are. Like, do you use SEO, or do you? I mean, the way I look at it, I'm thinking, heck, if you're getting paid $40 a lead, maybe you could do pay-per-click, and you might be spending, it might cost you $10, but you might make $40 back. In terms of maybe if you're paying $1 a click on those kind of leads, and I'm just thinking out loud. So you could do pay-per-click, you could do obviously getting high search engine rankings, are there other methods? Maybe you could release a book on Amazon Kindle, like a little 30-page book, and end up getting leads through that. I'm just thinking there's probably a lot of ways of to your site.
Yeah, there is a lot of different ways to get traffic. For these types of sites, I've done Google AdWords and SEO are the main ways that I drive traffic to these sites. I have tried Facebook ads as well, and one niche, and I didn't have great success with it. I got leads, just not. It wasn't profitable for me with Facebook ads. But if you got the right niche, it may well work out differently. But that was my experience. But definitely Google AdWords and definitely Google SEO works wonders for this. And the reason for that is you can get laser targeted traffic, so you can work out what would be the best quality of lead. So let me just give you a real quick example of that, because this is pretty important, because you've got to send good leads to the business that's buying these leads off you. You don't want to send them crap leads. Now, an example would be the mortgage niche. This is one that I learned the hard way. Is if you're getting people arriving on your website once they've typed in something like no deposit home loan, do you think that's going to make a very good lead for a mortgage broker? No, it's not. And I can't believe I didn't realize this until I did it. But anyway, you live and learn. It's not going to make a good lead because they have no deposit. So they're not going to be able to close many mortgages, are they? So, but anyway, so in the reverse of that, you can think the reverse and go, okay, what would make a good lead? And so you just think of the keyword phrases that people type in that would make a reasonably good lead. And you just avoid ones that would make a dud of a lead. And so with Google AdWords, obviously you can select very carefully the types of keywords that people arrive on your website, and to a certain degree with Google SEO as well. When you obviously have a strategy for ranking on particular keywords that people would type in. So that's why I found these types of traffic sources do tend to work well. And when I say Google, obviously you can do it with Bing and Yahoo as well. I'm just saying Google. I really should say search engines. But that's why this type of traffic tends to work better. Where something like Facebook, it wasn't as easy for me to refine it down to exactly the type of lead. So if you get the perfect traffic coming through, and then all the other elements that I've already talked about in this webinar, all the conversion tips I've given you and the reasons they convert, then boom, you can get a great little site popping out which gets very little traffic and does reasonably well. So that's a bit of the idea about it. But getting traffic isn't the easiest thing in the world to do. So the less you need, the better, and that's one of the key points with this type of website. You don't have to rely on loads of traffic, which is nice, and it's for the reasons that I've already mentioned in this webinar already. I don't need to go over them again. So it's time to move away from the crowd, if you like, to something fresh and new that is largely untapped. I've mentioned that before. I prefer to try and avoid where the masses are, because it just makes my life less of a headache. So you might feel, some of you might feel that you're too late for a lot of the things online. You might think, I wish I got in on this earlier. If only I got in at the beginning. I've often had those thoughts. Oh, if I only knew about this when it started. But the good news is that you're early for this. This is the early days of this stuff. It's not as many people know how to do this, and I'm sure you'll agree that some of you on this call right now, this is probably really new stuff to you that you didn't really think was possible, which is a good thing, because if everyone knew how to do it, it wouldn't be the way that it is. So that's obviously an encouraging point. So I want to introduce to you now my training course, which goes into a lot of detail on exactly how I do this. So if you liked some of the stuff I shared with you so far in this webinar, stick around, because I want to tell you about my course. It's called eWealth Blueprint. Just before I explain what this course is all about, I do want to say that if anyone has questions on the stuff that I've been through already in this webinar, I'm happy to hang around, and I will hang around after I just talk about my course for a few minutes and answer those questions for you. So don't think that you're not going to get your question answered. I don't want you to rush off now and go, oh, it's because I'm going to get to your questions, so please stick around. But my course is called eWealth Blueprint. It's a training course. It's a course where I take all of the knowledge and my experience of doing this style of lead generation website, and I condense it down into a concise training course. And it's made up of videos, 45 short, bite-sized chunk videos, and PDFs as well. But the videos are little small 5 minutes here. Some are more, some are a bit less than that. And so the information is easily assimilated because it's not huge videos. You can just watch bite-sized chunks and just take on the information. And and there's also online support, by the way. If you ever get stuck on anything, we've got support. We teach people, well, I teach people how to choose the right niche markets. We touched on that today. In the training, I actually give away about 10 niches that I know this would work well in. That's actually, I just give it away straight out, blatantly. Just give it away to people in the members area. And I show you how to set up a website. Even if you've never done anything like this before in your life, that's great because you qualify, because I teach it right from the very beginning, right through to more advanced stuff as you progress. But don't feel discounted if you've never done it. You've never owned a website in your life and you don't even know how they magically appear online, then that's fine, because I'll show you how to do it. And then we talk about getting traffic. We look at getting SEO traffic and getting Google AdWords traffic, the two traffic sources that I said. This is covered in the course on how to get the traffic to your websites so that they can do what they need to do. And then we talk about this whole selling of the lead process. So it's all good. You've got your website up. We're getting traffic to it now. You've chosen a great niche, and now you just got to sell the leads, and I'll take you through that process of how I go about selling these leads to businesses. And again, remember, you control the leads. You own the website. You own the funnel. So you call the shots. And then I'll talk more about conversions, how to increase the conversions, so you can just maximize everything out of your campaign, out of the websites, to get as many leads as you can out of them. But there's more. Here's the best part, or one of the best parts anyway. There's a lot of good parts in the course, but I mentioned the high conversions as an important part, and I've also mentioned that I tested it a lot. And it is an important part of doing this. You've got to get the conversions right, otherwise it doesn't work as well. So I paid a programmer to build a WordPress theme that was modeled off my very own profitable lead generation website. So I had been doing this and trying it out, and I finally got a website to work. My first few websites didn't work that great. I had a few duds. And then I worked it out, and then I just kept refining it now. And then so I decided it would be helpful when I'm teaching other people how to do this, to create a WordPress theme that they can use, which is modeled off a real site of mine that is converting. So that's what I did. So you can simply whip up a new site in minutes using a tested and proven template. Which takes a lot of the hard work out of it, because I'm giving you it. Now, I paid $600 to get this done. I paid a programmer $600, and he did a great job. And that is the real value of it, because that's what I paid for it. And it's called Money Magnet. I call it the Money Magnet Premium WordPress theme. And I'm giving it to you as a free bonus. That's the good news. That's the exciting part, is you get it free as a free bonus for joining my eWealth Blueprint. So it's called Money Magnet. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. It's easy to install on WordPress. For those of you who have never used WordPress, it's just a real simple website system that makes life easy. That's all you need to know. It's just click button stuff. If you can use something like Microsoft Word and highlight and bold and just simple things, then you'll be able to do this. It can be changed to any color that you like in a click. That's the cool thing about the programming in the back end of this thing. It's not complicated for the user to use, but it's in the back end. It's got these really cool functions that you can click a button and change different aspects of the website real easily, like the menu can change color, the text, the headers, the background, all in just little clicks, which makes it really cool. However, here's where it gets interesting. It has a built-in lead capture form that automatically sends the lead details to whoever you choose. Now, if you're listening carefully, earlier in this webinar I said that I automate the process and that the lead automatically gets sent to the business owner who's buying the leads off me. Well, this is how it's done. This website theme has got a built-in functionality where the lead box will just pop up on the side, and you can tailor the lead box to whatever you want. So, if you're selling leads to mortgage brokers, you're obviously going to have different questions that you'll need them to complete in the form than you will if you're selling leads to, I don't know, some other business like online university. So you can tailor the fields really easily, and it automatically in the back end, you just type in the email address that you want the form to send to once they click submit, and it will fire off all the lead details to that business owner. And you can also plug in your own email, and it will send you a copy. So that way you've got a copy every time someone fills in the lead box. You get an email to your inbox, and the person buying the leads off you, they get it to their inbox, so everybody can keep track of how many leads. And it's all done automatically. You just set it up, and then it does itself. So the money magnet theme makes a huge difference to getting cracking on this. So again, it cost me $600. You get it for free. There's also more. I talked about the SEO section of the SEO training that we provide in the course to make it the best it could ever possibly be. There's 18 modules or 18 videos step by step on search engine optimization. But here's what it's really super exciting. I hope you guys are going to appreciate how incredible this is. I got a guest expert to do this section of the course for me. His name is Eric Lancheres. It's valued at $127 easily. Eric is an SEO expert. The guy lives and breathes SEO. That's all he does, just SEO. He's an absolute gun, and he teaches you how to do the SEO in this course. Now, some of you may not know much about Eric, but he was at the recent Traffic and Conversions conference in California, which is one of the biggest internet marketing conferences there is, and they invited him to teach on SEO at that conference. And so I just say that so you understand the caliber of the expertise of somebody like Eric teaching the SEO. So I just wanted to make this course the best it could be, and I thought, well, I could do the SEO section, or I could just get somebody who just lives and breathes this stuff, and it has the latest up-to-date stuff all about Google and what they're doing and how to just really do really well with SEO to come in and do it. So I've added this in, so I call it a bonus because it really is, and that's in the course for you. And he'll teach you how to become an authority in your niche market for lead generation, how to rank new websites fast and start getting targeted visitors to your sites. That's what we're trying to do. And it's designed for lead generation. He obviously knows what I'm doing, and I've sort of partnered with him, and he's tailored the SEO for this style of website, which is I was super excited about when he agreed to do it. I was just like, this is just going to make this training just incredible. And Eric, as I mentioned, has been a guest speaker at the Traffic and Conversion Summit this year in San Francisco. Another one he did was the SEO Rockstars Conference in 2012. The end of 2012, he was a guest speaker there. Got a standing ovation for his presentation at the Rockstars Conference, and that's with people who know SEO, and they give the guy a standing ovation. So I just say that so you realize how good the SEO is in this course. It's a step-by-step guide to getting traffic from Google, and it's easy to follow, and it's very effective, and it's really the easiest way to get traffic online. What he's teaching works because he knows what he's talking about. And as an extra bonus on top of that, Eric allowed me to add in his Secret Sauce SEO 2 bonus, which is another course that Eric has, which we've just tacked in as an extra bonus for you guys, which you get valued at $67. And Eric has thrown that in. He's allowed me to give you guys that away for free as a bonus, which talks about some more advanced strategies with SEO. So it's tricks for dominating your niche market, and it's high-end SEO techniques and strategies involved, and that's just as an extra bonus, Secret Sauce SEO 2. So, and it was previously only available in Eric's other training, which is a multi-$1,000 course, but it's never been released to the public, but he's letting us have it, letting me give it away to the customers of eWealth Blueprint as a bonus, which is pretty good of him and very exciting for me, obviously, and for everyone involved. So we've got a special deal for you as well, just in case that wasn't exciting enough for you. We've got a special discount promotion. Normally, my course is selling right now for $77. Your price today, we're going to let you have it because you're friends with Mark Ling. I have a great deal of respect for Mark, and I wanted to do a special deal of $67. So you get all of that stuff that I just talked about for just $67, which to me is an incredibly valuable deal. So you get the whole eWealth Blueprint training. You get the Money Magnet theme, which I paid $600 for, and then you get all of the SEO bonuses and the whole SEO training done by a leading SEO expert. So that's thrown in there as a bonus, and you get the Secret Sauce SEO 2 valued at $67 as a bonus. So you get all of this stuff as the course, and it's a one-time payment only. It's just one time. There's no recurring billing. There's also no upsells. There's no sneaky tactics like that. I'm not into that sort of stuff. You get everything for this. This is what I'm trying to get across to you. So everything for one-time payment of only $67. I think it's a total no-brainer and a steal for what you're getting, the value that you're getting in this deal. So I hope you're excited about it. And we're also going to throw in a 1-year money-back guarantee. That's how confident we are that you're going to really enjoy and like this course and get, have great results with it. That will give you a whole year to make up your mind. So it really does put all the risk on us. You've got a whole year to decide if this is for you or not. So you can get it today, and you've got 12 months to try it out. And if at any point you want your money back for any reason at all, you just send us a support ticket and we'll refund all of your money for you. That's how confident we are in the value of this thing. So what you need to do in order to grab this special deal and get all the bonuses is go to ewealthb.com. So the URL that you want to type into your browser is ewealthb, the letter B for Bob at the end there. So E for egg, wealthb.com. It's just as you see on the screen. You'll then get taken to this page, which has got a video with more information about the course. And you'll see it says on the page underneath the instant access button that this price is for marked subscribers. So that is because I just want you to realize you're on a special page that I'm sending you to that the general public can't get to. It's hidden inside the website so that you get the discounted price. So once you click the instant access button, you'll then get taken to this order form page where you need to fill in your details and click Pay Now, and then you will get instant access to everything instantly. It's all downloadable. It's all streaming online videos. It's a members area, so you can come and go whenever you like. So you don't have to wait. You get instant access. So you could be starting it right now. In a couple of minutes' time, you could be in the members area and start watching the content and get access to my theme. So that's ewealthb. So you need to go into your browser and type in ewealthb.com, just like that, and then it will load the page for you. So again, it's ewealthb.com. You have to go through that link to get the discount. If you don't go through that link, I can't give you the discount. So please make sure you do that. Just on a side note, I just want to add in another thing. If for whatever reason you wanted your money back, I'm just removing all the risk for people here because I know what it's like to buy things online. I buy things online all the time. Not only will we give you a 12-month refund period, a whole year to make up your mind, I'll even let you keep my Money Magnet WordPress theme as my way of saying thanks for giving it a try. I'll give it to you as a free gift. So that's just, and I'm not even going to ask any questions. I don't care. You can just keep it as a free gift, and you got 12 months to make up your mind. So again, go to eWealthB. You get the Money Magnet theme thrown in free. You get all the SEO training from Eric and his Secret Sauce SEO 2 thrown in as a free bonus, and then you get all the training, obviously, in the eWealth group and in the video training and online support. So hopefully you'll find it. I'm sure you'll find it a great course. What I want to do though is hand back to Mark now, and I'm also going to stick around and answer any questions because I'm sure there will be questions. So if it's about anything that we talked about earlier in the webinar or about my course,
sure.
Either one, feel free to fire them away.
Sure. Well, even though you stated it before, I noticed I had a couple of people say, hey, if I buy this, are you going to try and sell me something else? And the answer is no. There's actually no upsells at all with this product. Matt's done everything he can to include everything within the product. The only thing you'd have to buy, I guess, separately would be your own domain name and do your own website hosting, I guess, which you teach people how to do, obviously, inside the course. But there's no actual upsells, like no other products to buy. All the training, everything's included in this. In fact, I've seen courses on different topics to this that are, not as good as this. Sell for $1,000 before, and people pay it and they're happy, and this is $67, which is crazy for what he's providing. So I think that's really, really good. There's a lot of people have typed in different questions, asking different things. I've had people asking me. In fact, I'll just go through some of the ones that got asked quite a bit. Do you provide sample contracts for people so that they know how to get, so they know how to actually get these deals going? And do you provide sort of sample scripts or anything so that they know how to handle the conversation when it comes to talking to the, the person that they want to get leads, generate leads for?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So the short answer is yes. I provide a template of how to contact people or what to say, and I also have a video training in there of going through an example of exactly what I do and what I say and how the process works. So it really makes it easy for people. I wouldn't be worried about that part at all because it's all covered in the course. And the other thing, as far as like, I don't know if you said contracts or something.
Yeah, I did.
I don't worry about that sort of stuff, because it just makes it complicated, and I like to have the less complicated the better, but you can get a contract drawn up if you want to make your life more complicated, but remember that you own the website. It's your website, so you have the power really at the end of the day. So there's not really a lot of need for a contract, because I just get people to pay me at the end of the week for the leads that they had for the week. So if for some crazy reason, and I've never had this before, but for some reason you were dealing with, a sociopath, and they decided they no longer wanted to pay you for the leads, then you just stop sending them the leads and find somebody else. Go, okay, I'm done with you, and then just go somewhere else. They can't stop you doing that. So you really have full control. So I don't really bother with contracts and that. You mean you can if you want to, but I don't bother really doing that.
How do you track how many leads are actually sent, and how do you actually give them those leads?
Right, so the Money Magnet WordPress theme that you get with part of this course has a built-in form, and in the back end of the website there's a little place where you can type in an email address, and you can type in as many as you like. So you put in the business's email address and you put in your email address. You put 2 emails. When the form gets submitted, the website will automatically email the business the lead details, and they'll email you the lead details. So every time a lead comes through, it just arrives in your inbox. So you can just set up a rule on your Outlook or whatever you're using to just file it away automatically for you in a folder, when it comes in. And then at the end of the week, you just open that folder and just count the amount of leads. It's real easy. So I just go, okay, 30, 40, 50 leads this week. If they're at $20 a pop, that's $1,000. So I just say, cool, that's what's $1,000 for the leads for the week. And you can the easiest way to get them to pay is just through PayPal. PayPal's got a really cool little thing built into it which allows you to send invoices. You just go create invoice, and then you just type in the PayPal email address of the business, and then you just put in the amount, and it automatically just makes a really beautiful little invoice for you. You just click send, and then it just sends it to their PayPal as an invoice to be paid. And then all they do is just click pay. It's real easy. That's the simplest way to do it. So it just makes it so not complicated in the slightest. If you don't want to use PayPal, you don't have to, but it does make it easy, I must say.
For anyone that's just wondering what the word grand means, it means 1,000. I'm not sure if that's the same in every country. Just noticed a couple of messages. So if Matt says something's $2,000, he means 2,000. That's just maybe it's a New Zealand thing. I thought that they might have said it in America or something, that maybe they don't. Do you have any example? Are you able to show an example of the theme, or do people only see your example websites when they get in the members area?
Yeah, there is a demo site in the members area which shows you basically the theme and exactly how to use it and everything about it, and that is in the members area for people to see. I haven't previously shown it to people who are not members, but yeah, it is in the members area for people to see it and copy.
Okay, and I guess that's in order to protect the members themselves, because I guess if you're not a member, otherwise you can go ahead and, I don't know, maybe reverse engineer and try and find out what other people's sites are.
Yeah.
I mean, not that really is going to hurt things too much, but, it's just that extra protection.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm just scrolling through the rest of the questions. Let's have a look. There's so many questions are going through. I'm just going to move them across my screen a little bit so I can see them better. Okay, what's your favourite form of traffic generation?
Favorite form, I guess. I mean, I've just sort of done Google AdWords and SEO. Really, I don't really have any major favorite. But yeah, I would say one of those two really is my favorite out of just because of the reasons I mentioned in the webinar of being able to get really highly targeted people to pages because you can choose the keywords, target keywords to keyword targeting.
Cool. And I've had people asking me what makes you want to sell your system and teach other people if you can, if you're already making so much with lead generation and you can already make several of your own lead generation websites that do well. What makes you want to train other people as well?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm glad that it was asked. Well, the obvious reason is I make money off my knowledge. It's just makes business sense. I'm doing this stuff, making money, and if I create a training course, obviously, rightly so, I'm sure you can agree, there's value in the knowledge that I've discovered from doing this because it is very valuable stuff. So I can make money off my training, and that's just the way it goes. But the reason I don't have a fear that other people will work out my secrets is because it's so obvious after you've been doing this a while that there's so many niches that this can work in. All the countries of the world, maybe not all the countries, but a lot of the countries of the world, and there's so many different niche markets, and there's so many different keywords that you can target.
Local cities.
Local cities, exactly. So there's just no way I'm gonna saturate it on my own. That would be impossible. I couldn't possibly do it. So that just makes obvious sense to me. I might as well, share this and create a course out of it.
Yeah, I mean, like somebody, for instance, could just probably make tens of thousands of dollars a month just generating leads for different lawyers in different local counties in within, say, a little area of the UK, or sorry, little cities within a county, I should say, in the UK, for instance. Like or maybe someone could pick one of the states in the USA, or even a small segment of that, and be doing really well with lead generation for mortgage brokers or whatever. It's like this. There's a lot of scope for that, which is great.
Yeah, there is, and legal stuff does work reasonably well. Stuff like accident compensation, the lawyers will pay for that if it's the right type of lead, like maybe work accident compensation or liability compensation if they had a fall or got hurt somewhere, depending on the country, because some countries got different rules around that. But I know the UK for lead generation is pretty big into the legal stuff like work accidents and other liability type leads.
Do you teach people how to, like, if someone's like totally new to this, they don't even know how to set up WordPress, for instance, do you teach them like the whole lot? Like, because setting up WordPress, it's pretty easy, but if you've never done it before, it could be something that you're worried about.
Yeah.
Like, do you teach them how to like everything from scratch, like you don't miss anything out?
No, you absolutely teach it from the very beginning. So if you've never owned a website in your life, we'll show you how to buy a domain name, which is the very, very first thing you got to do, and then how to get website hosting, which you got to get, and then how to get the theme that I give you, how to get it online and how to get it to work. So it's a very step-by-step process. So don't feel like you can't do it if you've never done it before, because it is catered to people with no experience.
So Jesse's just asking if someone joins, they can't. Is it right that they can't download your training? They just log in and they go through the training and the videos or the written versions of the videos or whatever if they go through the training online, like it's not like they don't download it to their computer. You just go through it online.
Yeah, it is online streaming, so you just stream the videos online. They're not big videos, so it's pretty easy streaming. But
okay.
Yeah, I don't offer them for download. And the only reason I don't do that, I do get asked for that, is that unfortunately people do the wrong thing by me and they steal all my videos and they put them on, Black Hat forums, or I've even found it on YouTube before. People just totally doing the wrong thing by me and stealing my videos and giving them away for free. So unfortunately, because of the people like that, I'm forced to put it inside a private members area where you can stream the content, just to protect everybody, really.
Tim asking, is it possible to enter the amount per lead and automate the invoice generation? I'm assuming that the WordPress theme doesn't have that automated, but I'm just guessing, just to answer that myself, that it's pretty easy to program that in if you just went on to, I mean, if you just went on to elance.com or Rent-A-Coder or somewhere to just get a programmer, it would probably cost maybe $100 for them to make a little plugin that would do that. I mean, I'm guessing it's not part of the theme. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, no, the theme doesn't do that, but it wouldn't be. Yeah, it would be possible. I've never done. I never really worry about automating that side. It's not much work. I mean, it only takes about 5 minutes once a week to do. Just count the leads, get a calculator out, and you're done. So, I mean, if you really want to automate even that, it's possible, but I wouldn't get too hung up on that because it's not, it's not much work at all, to be honest. I just want to. Dean Davis asked a question here I saw come up in the question box. He said, "Is there really no competition for this system? If it works that good," sorry, his question just disappeared. The rest of it, but I think I got most of it. I just want to answer that question. It's not that there's no competition. I don't want to mislead people in any way because it's impossible for anything online to have no competition. That's not what I said. So I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea. There's still competition in doing this stuff. It's just less competition than doing things like ClickBank, some ClickBank niches where it's really competitive and a lot of people are trying to rank on the same keywords or whatever strategies they're using to get their traffic, and it can be pretty competitive. And I'm just saying this from experience that I've obviously done a lot of affiliate marketing and some of the health niches that I was in. It was so competitive. Like, in order to really keep making money, you've got people constantly on your case trying to outrank you in Google, and they know what they're doing because they know, they're learning the same SEO tactics as you are. So you've got pretty formidable opponents when you're in these types of niches because they know what they're doing. Whereas a lot of these other niches that you can do this stuff in, a lot of businesses in these niches, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know SEO because that's not what they're into. So because of these reasons, it can be a lot easier and less competition. But yeah, I don't want to mislead you, Dean, or anyone else. You still got to put in a bit of work to get this to all work. It's not zero competition. It's just a lot less. So hopefully that answers that for you, Dean.
Do you use call tracking or phone numbers at all? Bill's asked that.
I have just started to do that actually on my website that's making quite a lot of money. And it's a good question. It's a very good question. It's something that I would like to explore a bit more because I think it would be good to do that on every site that I have. It's just that I haven't done it on all the sites because I don't want to overcomplicate it. But I think it's a good idea. I just need to do a bit more research into it. But perhaps some of the people out there will know a bit more about that. But yeah, you could put a phone number on the website when it calls. It tracks who called, and that's a possibility.
Yeah, and you could just charge for every call that gets made or something like that. I know another guy. You might know him, Matt Gohar Chaudhry, who does a bit of pay per call stuff. He would take a website like this and go to a pay per call network and put the phone number at the top, and anyone that calls that phone number. While it's not just quite the same, it's not the same as this, but anyone that calls that phone number, he gets paid for the lead. So the way you're teaching it, you actually get a higher payment for the lead because you're not going through a network, so you're not, you're avoiding the middleman, but it still makes money that way. But I mean, obviously the way you're doing it, you're making $30 to $20 to $50 a lead, as opposed to maybe, a pay per call network where, okay, you didn't have to go ahead and find that person, you just put the code in, but you still might be getting paid $10 a call. It's still not bad.
Yeah.
Now I'm glad you also said that there's work to do. I think, like, anybody that ever tells you that it's just push a button and you will be making money, that's usually, well, in fact, every time I've ever seen something like that, that's turned out to be not true. So if people are going into this expecting that they're getting a real working business strategy, if you're going into this realizing that, okay, this system, it does work. It works extremely well, but it requires a bit of work to put together. If you're going into it expecting that, then you'll get a heck of a lot out of it, and it'll go extremely well for you. It's it's like somebody that's building a house, for instance. There's no push-button way to build a house. Okay, maybe there's some of those throw-open tents, but they're quite flimsy, and they blow over in the wind. But essentially, no push-button way of building a house. You've actually got to get a bunch of builders, or you and another person or something, and draw up a plan, and then follow that plan until it's built. But it is possible to build a house, and that's what this is like. It's a true system that works really well, but it does require work. But at the end of the day, at least it's a great step-by-step system and a fantastic opportunity, and one that you can rinse and repeat over and over again. With Dave M is asking, with your SEO process, how long does it actually take to rank in the top 3 positions? Say, if you find a niche that, say, got medium competition.
It's always a really tough question to answer that one, because it depends on the person doing the SEO, for starters, how quickly they learn, how quickly they implement what they learn. Not everyone does. Some people put in more effort than others, so it's really difficult for me to say. It's like, how long's a piece of string? But you should start getting traction and getting results, I would say, probably within, I would say realistically, 6 to 8 weeks. Then you'd start to see rankings that are solid, and that's the nature of SEO. Remember, though, you can do AdWords with this and get instant results. Like, you could be getting traffic tomorrow by just setting up a Google AdWords campaign and testing it out. It's not a bad idea to do that to start with, to test it out, and then you do your SEO. So you don't have to do SEO or straight away. You can do it AdWords first. But hopefully that answers your question. And I just want to raise another point. With Google AdWords, you can do this type of website with Google AdWords. I just want to clarify that, because you can't do Google AdWords with every type of website, and Google definitely doesn't really like affiliate sites too much. Especially if they've got just affiliate links all over them. They don't like that, and they pretty much won't allow that in Google AdWords. But Google doesn't mind this type of website as long as the website has other information on it. They don't like websites that are solely designed to capture a lead and don't offer any other information. But if you just have a handful of other articles on the domain, that's fine. That gets approved by Google. Trust me, I know, because I talked to a Google representative about it, and he told me. And also, if you've got you have to have a little a disclaimer on your form saying that you won't spam people. If you've got those two things happening, you get approved by Google. And I know, because I did it, and then I made the changes to it, and then they approved it. So hopefully there's a long-winded answer to that question, but yeah. Anything else?
Cool, that's great. I had Diane asking, Diane from Hallsville, I think it's the lady I actually met once. She was saying, do you have, she's just saying, basically asking how come there are no testimonials on the website. I'm guessing that's just because you only just released the product.
No, there is testimonials on the website.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. I was just going off what she said. Oh, no, she said...
okay.
Yeah, so... Oh, well, that's all good then.
Yeah, they're at the bottom of the page. Maybe you didn't scroll down far enough, but
okay, and
sure they should be there.
And yeah, I mean the product though hasn't actually been out that long, anyways. But okay, well that's good to know. I mean, you're already telling us about that guy that was getting $50 a lead, which is great. So for a product that hasn't been out very long, that's really good going. Okay. I'm just trying to work my way through. There's been a lot of questions that are sort of duplicate questions, like I've already answered something that was pretty similar. Dean says, would this system work in the field of, say, promoting industrial products?
I'm not sure exactly what he means by industrial products. Do you, Mark?
Yeah, well, what if, for instance, someone sells chemical supplies to farmers, for instance?
Oh, right, okay, right. I'll tell you what, it would you can do it for anything, but the ones that will work better I find are ones that where the website leans well to providing more information on the topic. So if you can just think, can I create a little website about chemicals for farmers, an information article-based website that would have useful information, and then also have my quote form down the side. If the niche market, really doesn't lean well to a person arriving from Google, reading about information on the topic, then it might not work as well. But yeah, anything's possible. It's just I would need to think it on a case-by-case example how awesome it would be. And I don't know about getting chemicals for farmers, how well that would work. But
I had a few people asking about how this theme is going to work for people that, say, have searched using their mobile phones. I know that based on my statistics, I'm getting around about 23% of people are visiting my websites on a mobile device. Some of those people obviously are iPad and tablet users, but let's say conservatively maybe 15% are coming off iPhones and Android phones and stuff like that. Does your theme account for that, or does it?
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not mobile optimized. No, that's probably that's another step. But you can still obviously view the website on a mobile device. It would be fine. It's just not specifically optimized for mobile like some websites are. It doesn't have that built into it.
No, but it still works. Like if somebody visits that website on a mobile phone, they'll still be able to fill in their details, and if they want it enough, that they will.
Yeah.
Most people are still used to the fact that when they're using their mobile phone, most websites are not mobile optimized, yet they still visit the sites anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's something that you could do in the future. If you've got a niche, it's making you good money, you could just pay somebody on Elance or Rent-A-Coder or something like that to just make a mobile version, so that if a mobile phone visitor visited your site, they saw something different. You could do that later, though. I don't think you'd do that straight away from the get-go.
Yeah.
How do you overcome local maps without having a physical address in local search, and how might you deal with large aggregators like Yellow Pages and Yelp, etc.?
Eric does teach about that in the SEO section of the course, so I think it's better for people to probably listen to Eric's training, because he really is an expert at how to do all that sort of stuff in the course. But I know he does teach it. There is a module in training all about that, so if you are concerned about that, Eric does overcome it. And aggregators are not really that specific with their marketing, like their SEO on every lead under the sun. They're not going to get everything by any means. So we're building highly specific niche websites about a topic. Google's going to give that person the ranking over large, just yellow page type sites for everything.
Cool. And you don't use these leads for anything else, do you? Like, let's say the niche was weight loss. You wouldn't sell that lead to both a gym that was near there where they lived and a naturopath or a nutritionist. You wouldn't double sell the lead. Is that right?
I don't double sell the lead, no. But I do know, I have heard of people doing that, but I just don't do it because I don't want to make it too complicated for myself, A, and B, I don't really want to mess up the first person's sale. Like, if I've sold the lead to a company, I want to let them really have a good go at closing the sale, and if the sale takes quite a long process to close, I don't really want to go and sell the lead again. And the other thing is, it's not going to make a great lead for somebody if it's not really what they requested a callback about. So if they requested a callback about a financial advisor, and then an accountant calls them as well later, who I sold the lead to, they'd be like, "Who are you? Did I ask you to call me?" It's not going to make a great lead. But I know people that do it, and you probably could.
Ooh.
But I will say a little thing that I have thought about doing, and this is a tip for people who might want to give this a crack, because I think it would work pretty well, is you sell a lead they hit the form, they fill out the form, and then my theme automatically loads a thank you page, right? it's done in the training. He'll show you how to do it. So they land on a page that says, "Thanks, somebody will contact you soon." You could, on that page, on that thank you page, have another form and say, "Hey, you've just, would you be interested in getting someone to call you about this topic?" And if it's a very closely related topic, they might go, "Oh, what the heck, I need to get that sorted out too." And then you could get another lead right away on the thank you page, and then you could sell that lead as a fresh new lead to somebody else. I think that's more of a legitimate way to do it. So
Yeah, that
that's
works.
just something to think about.
Another thing that I thought of was what would happen if a lead, it doesn't turn into a sale for someone. It just wasn't the right fit. Let's say you were selling them to mortgage brokers. So let's say that lead, that person got that lead. Let's say they've got that lead for 21 days. That lead is not converted into a sale. Perhaps if there was a way of tracking that, and sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't with different niches, if there was a way of tracking that, you could then send an email to that person saying, "Hey, did you I noticed that you didn't end up going with such and such a mortgage broker. Would you be interested in us setting you up with a call with such and such, who might be your backup mortgage broker, perhaps?"
Yeah. That's another way to do it if you wanted to. I'm sure it will work. I just haven't personally done it myself, but that sounds pretty interesting.
Right. Okay. So it would be doable. It's just a matter of what's easier. Is it easier for you to make another one of these websites, or is it easier for you to double up like that? I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I'm really sorry if we don't get to all of your questions. By the way, everyone, I'm doing my best. I'm going to have to get going home in about 8 minutes from now, but we'll see how many questions we can get through in this time. Anyway, some people saying that they like those suggestions. By the way, now. Johan was saying about data privacy laws. Are you storing people's email addresses anywhere? Because if yes, don't we have to adhere to each country's data privacy laws?
Yeah, in the course I do have a video that is a legalities video, and I just say to people that you need to, as a disclaimer, you do need to check out the laws in the country that you're working in. I obviously don't know the laws of every country in the world, so you just need to do your due diligence and check. But you're not necessarily storing the information. Ideally, it's really just going to the business owner who's buying the leads off you. But if there is an issue in your local country that says you can't keep the details, then you'll have to adhere to it. Is just the bottom line. So you just have to don't store them, or just delete all of their details. That would be how I would go about that. And then the business owner, obviously, that's who's getting the leads. That's up to them, and I'm sure they'll know their industry pretty well.
Yeah, Mike says you need to keep your integrity, so selling leads twice is bad form. Yes, that's true, but as long as, but if you were upfront with the situation to begin with, if you were to say, look, you get 21 days to close that first lead, and if you come back and tell us that lead was not interested in going with you guys, then we will, we will then offer them such and such as services, or you could even tell that company that you're going to give them a cut if that particular company ends up generating a sale or whatever. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm sure you would probably only bother to go ahead with the process of double selling leads, possibly, if A, you were upfront about it, and B, you were generating so much money that it made sense to try and double that money from that website rather than building more sites.
Right.
Like imagine if you had a website that was making you $20,000 a month, and all your other sites are making you $2,000 a month. You might decide, what, let's have a look at how we can double this 20,000.
It's possible, and it's a good way to think.
Yeah, it just depends on the situation, and but like I said, it's definitely you don't want to do anything that's going to negatively affect your main customer. how do you determine how much you ask for a lead? I had a few people, Caro and other people, asking that.
That's a good question. I should have really brought that up earlier. I'm sorry I forgot to. One of the easiest ways to do it is go to Google AdWords, the keyword tool, and just look at the cost per click for keywords in that niche. And then you can soon establish how much value a lead is in that niche. So each click for like some of the main keywords in the niche are worth like $3. You can quickly establish that charging $20 for a lead would be reasonable, because if businesses are going to have to pay $3 a click from Google to get a lead, they might convert 1 in 10, so they're going to be paying, I don't know, $30 anyway. So maybe they'll pay you. That you can just sort of work it out from that value. So they wouldn't convert 1 in 10. Sorry, that'd be doing incredibly well. But you can get a rough estimate from the cost per click, and the easiest way is you just talk to them, really. And if the customer is worth to them $2,000, then a rough rule of thumb that I work on is I would say that's worth about $30 to $40 a lead. And you might even be able to get it to $50 a lead. That's usually what I go around. If it's worth $2K to them, you'll probably get about $40 to $50 a lead. If it's worth more, then you're looking at $100 a lead. If it's worth less, you might be around the $15 a lead mark. So it's just about feeling your way around until you get to a point where everybody's happy.
Okay, so $40 a lead, if they're making $2,000, that's 2%. It's not saying you're getting 2%, because you're actually getting higher, because not every lead converts to a sale, and you're getting paid on every single lead, whether it turns into a sale or not. So that sounds pretty good. So it's 2% basically is what you'd roughly guesstimate per lead.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah, and I just usually go by a rough rule of thumb on that one. But yeah.
Cool. I'm just scrolling through, trying to make sure I don't ask the same question twice. Some people have said, how long is this promotion active? The product, is it going to be regularly selling for $77? I know it's selling for $67 just for people that are watching this webinar, but in terms of you selling this product at all, I guess you're going to be selling it for at least the next wee while, I'm guessing. Like it's not going to close this week or any time soon.
No, we're not going to close it. The product won't be closing. Well, sorry, was the question how long am I going to be selling it for?
Well, the first question was how long's the promotion. That was more what they were asking. But
okay.
Yeah.
It's up to you. It's up to you. I'll let you decide, Mark, how long you want to let it run for your customers. I'd probably say about a week, if that's fair. Do you think that's fair? Should I have the discount?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. Just like at the end of the day, it's it's a great course, and I guess if you miss the discount, then then it'll be $77, which isn't exactly a huge step up in price. So you've got time. It's not like we're trying to say, look,
sure,
you have to start now. A lot of you guys are going to want to start now and just get in right away, especially after you've already learnt all this stuff from the webinar, because otherwise, if you start in a month or 2 months from now, you'll find that you won't feel quite as fresh in terms of what you've just gained out of the webinar in terms of your knowledge as you would if you started, sooner. But no, we're not like trying to force people to get in, get in when you're not ready. It's up to you guys. Now, let's have a look. People have asked how, do you only have, it's the only way of getting people to go through you to do cold calling? Like, do you just ring them up on the phone and start talking and it's as easy as that? Or, and is there a way of doing it without calling them up?
Yeah, I mean, you can email people. There's a template that I show you, I provide in the course that you can copy and paste. Email. I just prefer to just quickly call up people and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's really not a hard conversation to have because you're doing them a favor. Getting leads is a great thing. These type of leads are awesome for businesses if you follow what I'm teaching. But if you're totally terrified of doing that, that's fine. Just take the email approach and send an email and do it that way. It's totally over to you. But yeah, either whatever you want.
Could you leave would it be possible for you to leave an email address on the screen now, just for anyone that's got a question? Like, I've had a couple people saying that they've had trouble ordering, and
Okay.
I've had.
If you go to the
Oh, sorry.
If you go to the website through ewealthb.com and scroll down to the bottom of the page, there's a link in the footer that says support. You can open a ticket there, and then I'll be able to respond to that ticket as soon as I've got time.
Okay, great. And then that'll be also great for people that have questions about the course that are already in the members area, and they want to, they want to do something or want to know something, whatever. Because I've got some people that are asking a couple of questions about the course itself now, that are already in there. So I just about have to go now. Sorry, because I told my wife I'd meet her and the kids at not too long from now. So if you guys have more questions, just simply go to ewealthb.com, scroll down and hit the support link at the bottom, and Matt will get back to you as soon as he can.
Yeah, yep, sure. Fire away if you've got any questions about today or anything. I'm happy to help you, and hopefully you'll come and join us in the eWealth Blueprint, and we'll help you get underway with building this type of site. I'm sure you'll love it.
All right, thanks, Matt. Thanks for all the information as well on the webinar. I mean, I feel like if anybody is totally, any advanced marketers on this webinar that have probably gained enough information that they may or may not need to buy your course. They might be able to just go straight ahead and do it, which is great because it means you've given a lot of information. And then anybody that's at a beginner to intermediate level would probably look at this and say, you know what, I want the step-by-step training. Or even advanced people might say, look, at least I want that WordPress theme, so it's worth joining for that, or I want the SEO bonuses, or so I feel like you've given a fantastic offer, but at the same time you've given a lot of great content, and thanks for sticking around answering everybody's questions as well.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks. It was a pleasure, and I appreciate letting me on here to share my knowledge. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
And guys, if you've enjoyed the webinar, I notice a lot of people are saying thanks for the webinar, and saying that they really enjoyed it, and better than some other webinars they've been on and stuff like that. So if you guys have enjoyed the webinar, please let Matt know so that he can see in the Q&A box. It makes a big difference because it motivates him to get on more webinars and that sort of thing in the future. And by the way, anyone asking about a replay, yep, I will mail out a replay probably in maybe 2 days from now, by the time I've had a chance to edit it together and get it out there. All right, guys, thanks very much for joining us. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now, everybody.